Hi, my name is Barry Osser from North Coast Role Playing in Eureka, California, and I'm going to talk to you today about the history of role-playing. Role-playing games, the game portion of it, not the part that's used in psychology, began in 1974 when two gentlemen, Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax, got together and had been playing a miniatures game and wanted to have more for the miniatures than they were doing. They wanted to make certain that they were having the most fun they could. So they took a set of miniature rules, a game called Chainmail, and converted it over so that these characters had a three-dimensional life, not just a three-dimensional attribute sitting on the table. So in 1974, our first box set of Dungeons & Dragons came out. And from then, it's been crazy. There have been over 1,000 different games produced in many different genres. The major changes have mostly come with the changes in the advent of each of the editions of Dungeons & Dragons. The first edition, what they called the basic edition in 1974, was a little collection of 3 brown books that were produced in a box and sold to you with dice and papers for character sheets and such. The next step was to produce the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. This was a set of books that they produced in 1979 that gave you more of the basic information that you needed and then some more advanced information so you were not required to produce everything. They actually mostly had it set so you were going in dungeons. That's a hole in the ground that theoretically a collection of creatures or beasties had walked down into and started living in. And your job was to go in there and kill everyone and take all their money, which doesn't sound as nice in today's kinder, gentler world, but in 1974 it was actually a lot of fun. So in 1979, they started these advanced books, and at that point, Dave Arneson had much less involvement with the company, which was TSR. But Gary Gygax had pretty much taken it over and made it into the company that it was going to become at its height. And they produced a collection of these 3 books. Now, these books came out, gave you everything you needed to build the character, build the world, lay out everything, and pretty much was written for you instead of the guesswork. In the time between 74 and 79, a collection of other games came out. TSR produced a Western game. TSR produced a couple of different science fiction games. And a couple other companies came out that used to be board game or miniature game companies. GDW, Games Workshop, and a few others were around at that time. The big one at that point was still TSR and Dungeons & Dragons.